unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Somuayina and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So in today's tarot card reading, we are going to be talking about your love life during the month of September. I can't believe I'm already predicting your love life for September, but here we are. So in order to help you figure out exactly what is coming towards you and your love life during the month of September, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So don't think about the meanings, don't try and read the cards, because I know that's what you're trying to do, but just go with what intuitively feels right. Don't read into the names of the stones or the names of the tarot cards below. Just allow your intuition to guide you to whichever group that feels right and feels like connects with love and September for you. The first group corresponds to the Agate as well as the Emperor. The second group corresponds to the Rainbow Obsidian as well as the Hierophant. In the third group, we have the Azurite as well as the 8 of Rings. And for group 4, we have the Angelite as well as the Ace of Wands. But the timestamps to all of the groups can be found down below in the description box. And if you feel like you need a minute just to meditate on the groups, feel free to pause the video right here in order to do so. So by now you've hopefully made up your mind as to which group you would like to pick. So I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Agate, and to all of my other lovely groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Agate in correspondence to the Emperor. So the Agate is a stone, a crystal that speaks about getting back into balance. So if you feel as though your love life has been knocked out of homeostasis, knocked out of balance, your personal equilibrium, whatever you would like to call it, I want you to know here that in September your love life is coming back to a place where you feel as though things are balanced. And in correspondence to the Emperor, as well as the fact that on the 2nd of September, September 2nd, however you prefer to say it, we have a full moon in Pisces, which is a very compassionate type of full moon. This is a full moon that allows you to tie up any loose ends that you still have emotionally. I see here with the Emperor and the Agate that you are taking the lead on doing so. You're putting yourself in a position where you're tying up those loose self-love ends and meeting yourself at a point where you feel like you're in control and in balance again. The Emperor is also all about, wisdom, being in a place where you can give great advice, but also taking your own advice. Group number 1, often people who give the best advice, and this is maybe something that you totally relate to. You give your friends amazing advice, family members great advice, but then when it comes to taking that advice yourself, it's kind of a whole nother story. But I see here in the Emperor that wisdom is actually transcending into useful actions, okay, into you actually taking your own wisdom, your own words of advice. Then next up we have the Epidote. So in the Epidote, we have this notion of going deeper when it comes to love, and going deeper as in having those deep conversations. So if you're right now talking to somebody and you feel like the connection is really shallow, I mean, this could even be somebody that you've been with or talking to for a long time, you feel like you've hit a pretty shallow spot, know that in September you're going to have those deep conversations, you're going to feel deeply connected and talk about things that really matter, not just things that are very trivial, very little, but actually, real life stuff. Opening up and using that in order to, again, share wisdom and share your experiences like we have here in the Emperor. Then we have the Chrysocolla. The Chrysocolla is all about fresh beginnings, new beginnings, fresh starts. So I want you to know here in the Chrysocolla that may mean that you're moving into a new, fresh beginning with another person in love, okay? In correspondence to love, the Chrysocolla kind of speaks of you taking the lead to start a new connection. So maybe you're brave enough to chat somebody up, to actually be upfront about your emotions that you've had in correspondence to somebody, being honest with them, confessing your love, starting on a fresh slate where you don't feel like you already have a judgment or that somebody is already judging you from past experiences. So being able to make a completely new relationship based on on what is going on in September and also your deep conversations that you're having in September. Then we have the lapis lazuli down here. The lapis lazuli, for all of you who love to watch those Vampire Diary shows, this is a stone that you're familiar with. But for all of you who just have maybe heard of it or never even heard of it, I want you to know that the lapis lazuli is a stone that helps you make decisions. Okay, this is a stone that brings out decisiveness, that brings out inner strength, inner kind of drive to make those hard decisions and move forward in a way that is best for you as well as everybody involved in the situation. So making difficult decisions to maybe cut ties with certain people, being wise enough to not continue speaking to that F-boy that constantly slides into your DMs when they're feeling lonely or whenever, you know, they just seem to not have anybody else lying around who wants to hang out with them. No, being smarter than that, moving away from it and making the decision to take your own advice and not share an energetic space or realm with anybody who doesn't appreciate you. Then next up we have the Hermit. So group number 1, the Hermit is all about contemplation, soul searching, as well as just again diving deep, just like we have in the Epidote. So these two cards really feed off of one another and show just how powerful the reflective energy is for you in September in correlation to your love life. So I want you to know here in the Hermit that deep contemplation may bring you to a point where you feel like you're back in balance. So while deep contemplation can often first start with a lot of imbalance, with a lot of maybe judging yourself, self-hatred even, you know, going to the point where you're blaming yourself for how your love life is or lack thereof, then all of a sudden things come back around, you know, just like this circle. If you started here and you went all the way to the middle down here, you may be at the epitome of self-destructive thoughts. But then if you come around to this full circle, all of a sudden things start healing and it's almost like a fresh start, right? It's almost like a cycle where meditation, contemplation, soul searching, you go through some ugly stages and through some stages where you come to realizations of, wow, you know, I'm actually growing so much. I'm turning into such a respectable human being that I love and that I've always wanted to be. So going deeper really serves you well in September. All of that surface stuff, not for you. Then next up we have the Queen of Wands. So in the Queen of Wands, we have somebody coming into your life who is of a fire sign. The wands corresponds to the element of fire. And I want you to know in the Queen of Wands that this is somebody who is very generous, but also expects a lot of loyalty in return. And this is maybe something that you can really relate to. That may be why you gel with this person to begin with, okay? With, for instance, this Aries that is coming into your life here in September. So just wanting that loyalty back, that respect back, a lot of tenacity is what I see coming from this person, is what draws you towards them. And also the fact that they're able to be open-minded as well as direct, another thing that you love while you're soul searching, going deeper, and that makes you really connect with this person on an emotional level. Then we have the Five of Cups. So the number 5 historically has been a great number, but in the more New Age tarot where we are right now in numerology, the number 5 is a number that can be challenging, and in correlation to the suit of cups, the suit of emotions and feelings, I see here a lot of dwelling as well as avoidance in a certain aspect. So that is most likely why during soul searching, meditation, going deeper into who you are when it comes to love can bring up that kind of like epitome of self-hate, of self-destructive thoughts, because you're avoiding, right? You're trying to not talk about it. You're trying to not think about it. And that brings you to a very conflicting place on your journey in September, but don't worry about it, because as we have already established, you still get to a point where all of a sudden you're able to start afresh, like we spoke about in the Chrysocolla. You're able to start afresh and lift yourself up to the point where you understand, like, things that went wrong in your life, it's not all your fault. things that didn't work out in love, it's not something you should avoid. It is really something where going deeper allows you to work through those situations. And I know a lot of you say that my videos are kind of like therapy, and for me it's just, if it works, why not? You know, why pay $200 for therapy when you can tune into videos that help you, that uplift you? So allow yourself to go deep, okay? Especially using any type of spiritual tools such as videos, such as just meditation. I mean, at the end of the day, a price tag doesn't mean that one thing is better than another. Just because one thing costs a lot of money doesn't mean that the other thing couldn't potentially work better for you and your situation. So next up we have the Nine of Swords, and you may be like, okay, like what is this card? Because it's been here for a minute, right? Because I've still been explaining to you what I see in the Five of Cups. So in the Nine of Swords, one thing that I can see here is kind of insomnia, okay? Not kind of insomnia, actually insomnia. A difficult time sleeping, resting, just overall chilling, okay? I see that because you're going through so much emotionally and just on such a deep level, it can be really hard for you to cool down, to calm down, to get yourself back to a place where you can just relax and focus maybe on sleeping, focus maybe on just winding down the day. So I want you to know here in the Nine of Swords that this type of conflict may also show up in the form of some reoccurring dreams that scare you, maybe even nightmares. I frequently have nightmares, and I'm trying to write them down in order to make more sense of them, in order to understand myself better and what's happening. And September just seems to be a time where these can be especially frequent, but don't be afraid. Use this time to learn, just like I'm writing down my dreams, whether they're good, whether they're nightmares, just to understand your own cycle and understand what's going on beneath the surface. Next up, we have the King of Rings. So in the King of Rings, I see here, you know, somebody who is very connected to the earth. The rings is the symbol of the earth. The rings is all about responsibility as well as that earthly abundance, okay? So somebody who does well for themselves financially, materially, okay? Focus, here we go. The King of Rings, I mean, just look at that snack, group number one. I mean, pretty irresistible. I want you to know here in correspondence to the fact that during like the first week of September, we have Venus entering Leo on the 6th of September, which is all about love, which is all about sensuality, and you know, the three-letter thing that a lot of earth signs like to do, also other signs, but I don't want to get censored, so I'm not gonna be too explicit in this video. I want you to know here in the King of Rings that somebody here, an earth sign, is really tempting to you and feels as though you're really attractive to them, okay? So earth signs, especially the very successful ones, are drawn to you during September. They want to get closer to you, but it's important for you to make sure that you're not getting physical, that you're not allowing somebody in just because the opportunity presents itself. Be very picky when it comes to that. Furthermore, another piece of information that you could benefit from is the fact that on the 17th of September, we have the new moon in Virgo. We have, you know, that type of fresh beginning, that earthy fresh beginning, where you're able to launch into a new phase, a new cycle. So if you're unsure about another person, especially if they're an earth sign, try and stay away from being too physical with them up until the 17th of September, so you can really start the relationship on the note on which you would like to begin that relationship, that connection. Then furthermore, we have the Seven of Cups. So in the Seven of Cups, there are a lot of opportunities and choices that present themselves for you in love during September. So that may be because you are on a dating site, or you're opening yourself up a lot more to the possibility and opportunities of love. But here in correspondence to the King of Rings, and as I said, waiting till the 17th of September, maybe even refraining from any type of physical contact until then, that is because you don't want to take old energies into fresh connections, especially connections where you've never never been intimate or physical with the person before, I want you to know here in the Seven of Cups that it will be difficult to just refrain from that the first few weeks, the first 2.5 weeks up until the 17th. But at the same time, know that just because you have a lot of options doesn't mean that every option is going to give you the result, the outcome that you desire. So be very careful who you share your body and your space with, especially with how in-depth you're going with yourself and the things that you still need to work on. It's almost like you're an open portal, right? And you don't want to let somebody in there that is maybe bringing energies with them that do not serve you, that do not serve not only your situation, but just you in general. You wouldn't want to allow them into such a sacred space that is in need of a gentle touch, okay? That is in need of you only allowing people in who you know will not abuse this sacred and very vulnerable place that you're opening up to. Next up, we have the groundhog spirit. So in the groundhog spirit, we have this kind of notion of letting go, that it's time to let go. So I want you to know on the 23rd of September, the sun enters Libra. So this may be a very humbling and grounding time for you, where you lose some money for some reason, you know, a business opportunity doesn't work out, or you just lose contact with somebody where you already knew it was inevitable, right? You already knew that maybe this business opportunity or this relationship wasn't going to make it, or just overall something that you put a little bit of energy, time, and money into. You had hopes for it, but you already had this feeling like, oh, maybe it won't make it, maybe it's not the right thing. I see here in the groundhog spirit that during September, you will know when the moment comes, because you're so reflective. You may be in hermit mode and alone a lot, so you have time to research, and you'll know when it's time to let go. And time to let go means letting go in order to avoid further suffering, in order to avoid certain things preoccupying your mind even further. So why it's so important to know when the time has come to let go is because sometimes when we cling on and hold on for a very long time, we can hurt ourselves, we can self-destruct, because we have missed that point of letting go with as little suffering, issues, and hurt as possible. And then we just feel as though, okay, now we're committed, now we've already held on to it for so long, what could an extra week, month, or year be? But whether it's stocks, whether it's a love interest, whether it's a connection that is platonic, know when it's time to let go, and don't start playing yourself in September, group number one. Be honest with yourself of when you need to let go. I see in the Five of Cups that, you know, this whole avoidance thing, this whole thing of trying to not face your inner demons, it's not serving you, it is just causing inner turmoil. So remind yourself of the groundhog spirit during September and your need to let go when it's actually time to let go. Then next up we have the electric eel spirit. So in the electric eel spirit, one thing that I can see here is making more time for creation as well as innovation and invention in general. So what I mean by that is, for instance, if you have a business idea, if you have a great idea on how you can create a more prosperous life for yourself, I see here in the electric eel spirit that just bringing those ideas to life has a good space, a good time frame during September. So things are most likely slowing down at your job. I mean, it only makes sense that that would give you more time. And also we do have some things that correspond to the earth, to the material realm, like the King of Rings, but this is more the opportunity to be physical with this person, for this person to impact your life. We don't have so much about your career, about your professional life, so it seems as though things are going kind of smoothly in a way that they're not quite worth mentioning, is what I was trying to say, group number one. Sorry, sometimes I can kind of get a little choked up while reading. Next up we have the new moon. So in the new moon we have those new beginnings, and very powerful ones. There's a reason why the new moon has showed up in your reading. Again, just in case you forgot or you haven't had the opportunity to write this down, know that the new moon is happening on the 17th of September. It is a new moon in Virgo. The new moon in Virgo is all about being able to launch those new beginnings, especially when it comes to planting seeds, such as innovative ideas in the earthly realms, for business ideas, for your professional life, maybe even academically, thinking of a way how you can make yourself more valuable in the workplace. But let's add another card to your reading, shall we? Next up, we have the Waning Gibbous 4, which is all about beauty, which is all about understanding your beauty and having this epiphany of, oh, maybe I can channel more beauty if I, for instance, be more natural, okay? If I'm, for instance, allowing myself to just embrace my natural hair texture or my natural body just as it is, without wearing, for instance, constricting undergarments or a bra or just like anything like that. I know I have a lot of male viewers as well, so finding your own beauty, finding your own inner beauty and outer beauty by allowing yourself to know that you don't need to dress a certain way or look a certain way. Of course, I'm just using makeup or undergarments as an example, but this goes for everybody. As you know, my channel is open to anyone, however you want to identify. This Waning Gibbous 4 card is all about the innovative ideas that you have to allow your natural beauty to shine through more, and finding ways how you can emphasize that instead of work against it. So for instance, instead of putting a lot of product in your hair or straightening it or chemically treating it, finding ways how you can embrace your natural texture in order to embrace that natural beauty. The same goes for your clothing. Instead of putting yourself into clothing you don't want to wear, especially in your free time. Sometimes you don't have a choice depending where you work or what your line of work is, but allowing yourself to clothe yourself in a way how you feel it's authentic and how you feel really resonates with a confident version of yourself. Keep in mind here we had the Emperor as your choice alongside to the Agate, and the Emperor is a sign of authenticity but also authority, which is what I see you moving towards, what I see you harnessing during the month of September. And in love, that is a trait that is attractive, especially in correspondence to having these great ideas like we have in the Electric Eel Spirit, to embrace your natural beauty more and to just be more authentically you, because it shows every step that you take and every word that you speak. When you're comfortable in your own skin, it really just shows, and it's really something that is impressive to other people, especially on a romantic realm. So group number 1, your reading has been very long, very intricate. I truly hope that you found value in your reading, that it gave you insight as well as peace of mind, and that you found it motivational and insightful. So I hope you're staying safe. I wish you nothing but the best during the month of September for your love life. If you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a little, what type of emoji should we say for your reading? Leave a little butterfly emoji, just like we have here in the Waning Gibbous 4, down below in the comment section to let me and others know. I would like to thank you so much for sharing this sacred space with me, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Rainbow Obsidian in correspondence to the Hierophant. So let's get right into your love life for September. In the Rainbow Obsidian, one thing that I can see here is your heart healing, okay? And you being the one propelling it and launching it into this field of divine healing and finding yourself in a place where you feel like you're ready. You're not afraid of getting hurt. And I see here in correspondence to the Hierophant that this all comes from a very spiritual place, from a place of understanding that suffering is just a part of every human life, of every life in general, and just an expanding knowledge and type of consciousness to the fact that if hurt is inevitable, then let's just choose wisely who we allow to hurt us, especially in love, especially romantically, because romantically hurt can really cut deep, and it can be something that makes you feel you're not valuable, that makes you feel like you're not attractive anymore, especially if there is infidelity involved. So I see here in the Rainbow Obsidian just a strong energy, a strong pull towards your spiritual side and understanding, okay, somebody is going to hurt me, but I still have power. I still have the opportunity to choose what people I allow to let me down and hurt me, because I'm going to do the same vice versa. So I'm going to make sure that I choose a love life where I know that the hurt is not greater than the love as well as the support that I'm able to receive. And then next up we have the smoky quartz group number 2. So in the smoky quartz, I see here that you're letting go of fear. You're letting go of this feeling of, oh my God, I don't want to get hurt, or I'm afraid of what somebody else may think of me romantically and also physically. There's just a big I don't give an F attitude that you have, group number 2. Like, I don't care what I look like. I don't care if I fit into society's standards. I see that the smoky quartz is just really enabling you to be yourself and to not care, to not give a damn, basically, about whether anybody likes you or doesn't like you and whether people approve of you or not. I see that in correspondence to the Hierophant, you understand that you're a spiritual being and you're on this beautiful path of not only discovering yourself and your life, but also becoming so comfortable in yourself that you understand that what you look like doesn't matter, especially not to the type of people who you would like to attract and have more of in your life. Next up, we have the appetite. So not only do I love the appetite because it sounds like appetite, and I mean, I always have an appetite for some good food. I don't know about you, but moving further into the meaning of appetite, which has nothing to do with food, is all about getting out of your comfort zone, okay? It's all about moving from, as we said, caring about what others think to absolutely not caring and absolutely not letting it have an effect on you. So we had another, two cards that popped right out of the pile that clearly feel like they have something important to say about your love life, group number 2. So this is the selenite as well as the phantom quartz. The selenite is about clearing out clutter, clearing out unwanted energies. This is a stone that in real life is especially helpful to clear out unwanted, negative, and stale energies from your other crystals as well as your home. So if you're looking for a stone that can help you cleanse as well as clear out unwanted energies, know that the selenite is your friend. It is the one to go with. It is often, well, at least the ones that I have in my store that's linked below, it is more or less pure white, and you can get them in these beautiful towers. They're often very in like elongated shapes, so they look very nice on any type of surface that you would like to stand them on. Then in the phantom quartz, you know, you're being called to embrace that change. So not only getting out of your comfort zone and moving from a place from being hyper focused on what you look like or what others may think of you, but then moving in the phantom quartz to actually embracing that you don't care, to actually embracing the sweats, embracing the makeup free face, embracing the fact that you will do you and the right person will love you for you. The right person is on the same wavelength and will not put all of their attention on little unimportant details that are just based on exterior factors that vary so greatly. I mean, some days you feel good, you look good, your skin is clear. Other days you're like, what the hell? Like, what happened to my face overnight? What did I do to deserve this? So I'm right there with you, and just being in connections with people who couldn't care less about that, truly, truly rewarding. Next up, we have the sun. So the sun is a very favorable card in correlation to love and just life in general. So let's get this to just zoom in. There we go. So as you can see, the sun, the depiction is very idyllic. It's very beautiful. I want you to know here that moving to the full moon in Pisces on the 2nd of September is what is bringing you this lovely energy that is all about compassion, being one with spirit, being one with love, and also embracing that compassion in other people. So I see in correspondence to the smoky quartz, just also letting go of the judgment that you have towards other people, which we all have judgment, but trying to minimize it is so important. As I can see here in correspondence to the selenite, that you can just feel very cluttered after a while of, you know, intense judgment of other people, of constantly feeling like, oh, this person must be like that because this is what they're wearing, or this is what they said, or this is what they look like. It's just a cycle of overthinking to a point of discomfort, to a point of headache, basically, of just being in a place that is negative, that is judgmental, that clearing it out in September really allows for space for new love. And I want you to know, in correspondence to the Phantom Quartz, the sun with the Phantom Quartz, that just embracing this change is exactly what you needed, and that it just gives you this fresh glow, okay? This energy that is almost as though you're in love. You know, that kind of like glow that people have who are like freshly in love, or who are in a physical relationship with another person, and just that satisfied glow, if you know what I mean. Group number 2, I don't think I need to further explain. That is what I see you having here. Then we have the flamingo spirit next, which is all about embracing the in-between. So let's talk about that glow, that freshly effed glow, if you will. Then the sun, as well as the flamingo spirit. So that glow that we all know what I'm talking about. In correspondence to the sun, you know, this is positive. This is something that makes you feel good. But in correspondence to the flamingo spirit, as well as the fact that on the 6th of September, we have Venus entering Leo, which is that love energy, that sensual energy. I do see here that this leaves room for situationships to thrive, okay? For in the flamingo spirit, for you to embrace not knowing where your relationship is going, not knowing what the situationship that you're in is doing, but still loving it, okay? Still just enjoying the physical aspect, still enjoying being with that person on a sensual level. So I don't want to use words that are too explicit because I don't want this video to be censored and to not reach as many people as I know would like to see their predictions, but I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So embracing just being, for instance, F-buddies, embracing just being physical with somebody if that is what you decide to do. So this feeling of really being empowered, of being in a place where, again, this I don't give an F energy, if that is what I want to do with my body and my love life, that is what I am going to do. That is one thing that I see in the flamingo spirit in correspondence to the sun, as well as the Venus entering Leo on the 6th of September. It gives you this very empowered energy where you might almost do a double take and think to yourself, hey, who is this person? Like, what is this version of me that I have never noticed or gotten to know prior to this time in my life, to September? So this is very interesting, and I really love the independent vibes that I'm getting here from you. Then group number 2, next up we have the mouse spirit. So in the mouse spirit, one thing that I see here is that there's a need to tend to the little things, to the little details. Don't forget about, you know, those little compliments and making people feel good, because sometimes when you're really in your not careless attitude, in a empowered attitude where you don't care about what others think, you can sometimes be very hyper focused on that and forget to pay others compliments and give others the support that they need, who may not feel as empowered and as strong as you do, okay? Just like this little mouse would just feel 10 times stronger and bigger if it got a compliment from an elephant. See that as you doing the same thing for another person. So while you have this big, grand elephant tiger spirit, don't forget about the little mouse, or the people who are going through a little mouse phase, and allow them to feed off of this confidence that you have cultivated out of this. Let them feed off of this confidence that you have a whole pot of, if you know what I mean, group number 2. So be generous with this energy that you have. And also don't forget that here on the 17th of September, we have a new moon in Virgo, which is all about launching new beginnings. Now, you don't know whether that new beginning is going to allow you to take this big, grandiose energy with you. So just as you're at the top and you're empowering other people, know that when you eventually come back down, those people are then going to empower you and lift you up, okay? So know that just because you have a lot of confidence doesn't mean that the fresh cycle in the new moon in Virgo on the 17th of September won't trigger a little bit of insecurity or won't trigger your more small side, if you will. But don't worry too much, okay? Just keep it cool. Stay supportive of other people. Then we have the egg moon. So in the egg moon, one thing that I can see here is a high sense of trust, a high sense of trust in yourself. Now that's one thing that's really awesome, especially in correspondence to love. Trusting yourself and knowing that you're doing things based on what makes sense, not based on just seeing things through purple or pink glasses, whatever you want to call it. So you're not kind of talking things into a nicer state than they are. You're not telling yourself that, oh, they probably are just busy, that's why they're not texting me. You're just 100% ice cold and clear about it, and you're being honest with yourself, and you're trusting that if somebody's actions don't correspond with love, with respect, with actually liking you and being attracted enough to you to show you that respect that you deserve, then you just know that they're not for you. So there are not really any second chances here coming from you in love, which, you know, sometimes is beneficial. So allow yourself to just embrace this new you. Then we have the flower moon. So in the flower moon, I see things blossoming. There is an opportunity here for a relationship to blossom towards the end of September. I want you to know that on the 23rd of September, the sun enters Libra, which puts a very interesting spin on everything, which puts a spin on things, allowing you to see things from a more mature point of view, as well as allowing relationships to mature. So coming to a point in the relationship where you understand that you have to make a decision as to whether you move forward being committed to one another, or whether you continue to embrace situationships. That is one thing that I see in the flower moon in correspondence to things blossoming and you still having the deciding factor over how it blossoms. So allow yourself to look forward to that. That's something that you can decide over. That is a big part of your love life that could be a part of just your life in general for the next months or years, depending on who it is that you're seeing and who it is that enters your life during September. So these decisions are great decisions for you to make, and are decisions that once again just give you more strength and allow you to embrace this very forthcoming, very strong energy that you have. And I just love it, group number 2. So we're at the end of your reading, at the end of your love reading. I truly hope that this gave you some insight. I hope that it was insightful and motivational to hear these messages and to understand what you're going through and what effect this has on your love life. If you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a little mouse emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. I hope you're doing amazing, group number 2, and I'll see you in one of my next videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading about your love life during the month of September. So you chose the Azurite, group number 3, which is all about getting laser focused. So the Azurite is a stone that not only helps you focus, but also allows you to see through what is next to come, okay? So you're kind of planning ahead, you're making sure that you're looking at the big picture in your love life, and I can see here in the 8 of Rings that there is positive potential for your love life, group number 3, because you are in a place where you're very resourceful. You're making sure that you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket, and that is one thing that people find very attractive, which is again why you have this positive potential that I see here in the 8 of Rings in correspondence to your love life. So this positive potential has a lot to do with the fact that you've grown smarter, you've grown to keep your standards high and not compromise your standards for anybody, group number 3, which I love. I love an empowered unicorn. I love somebody who can keep their standards high regardless of whether some other person likes it or not, regardless of whether it makes them quote unquote attractive for society or the majority of people or not. You know that the person who you want to attract into your life wants you to be empowered, wants you to be strong, and wants you to keep those standards high, because that's why they like you, right? Because you know your worth. Next up, we have the Eight of Cups. So in the Eight of Cups, I definitely see here that you're not thinking twice about walking away and moving into a new direction should somebody not respect you, group number 3. And that is, again, one thing that is so attractive to the right person. The fact that you have a good head on your shoulders, you're confident, and you're not going to put up with what you don't deserve just to please somebody else, while at the same time displeasing yourself. That phase is over. I see here that September is really a time where you're super focused on exactly what you want, and you're going for that and nothing else. I see here in correspondence to the full moon that we have coming up on the 2nd of September, and this is a full moon in Pisces is what I'm trying to say, that you are in a place where you're still compassionate. So you don't have this like bitchy energy, not at all. You have this energy where you're compassionate towards the fact that, you know, maybe it has worked with other people. Maybe making somebody feel bad for having high standards has worked in the dating game for the person who's now trying to do it to you. But just because it's worked before doesn't mean it's going to work with you. You're compassionate towards the fact that they think that that's how things work in love, and that it will work with you because they have success, because God, I can't talk today, because they have had success in the past, but that will not allow you to put yourself in your situation. No way, group number 3. Next up, we have the Hierophant. And in the Hierophant, I see a deep connection to your spiritual side, as well as just growth in the knowledge department. So this is one thing that keeps you, again, focused on your goals that you have in love. The fact that you're spiritually in a place of great connectedness, interconnectedness with not only yourself but also with the universe, provides you with knowledge that has been there but that you have failed to unlock up until this point in September. Now, you may have failed to unlock this spiritual consciousness and awareness just because you were preoccupied with other things, or you haven't been so spiritual growth, meditation, but all of that doesn't matter, as moving forward in the month of September, just growing on a spiritual level, having this sacred knowledge be a part of your decision making is one thing that keeps you protected and allows you to have this positive potential for love, because you can see right through people who are trying to play you, right through people who aren't here for the right reasons, and instead of investing any time in those, you walk away, you pick a new direction, and put all of your potential, put all of your focus in relationships and situationships that are worth it to you. Then we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is all about reevaluating and contemplation. So one thing that I see here in correspondence to the 9th of September, where we have Mars in retrograde in Aries, that kind of slows things down, okay? That kind of makes you do a double take. That makes you think, am I really on the right path or not? So there is a little bit of questioning yourself and your sanity on the 9th of September, around the 9th of September. So try and keep yourself away from people who may be toxic or who may only want you for physical needs and things, or may only want you just because it benefits them in that given moment, because you are susceptible to falling prey to them during that time on the 9th of September. But I do also want you to know here that in the Four of Cups, another reason why you may be reevaluating your love life, reevaluating where you're going, may also be because there is this new beginning launching on the 17th of September, where the new moon is in Virgo, and that just overall gives you a fresh outlook on how much energy you want to invest into caring about what others think of you in your love life, and how much energy that you want to just keep aside just for you, because caring about what others think to a certain extent has been a part of all of our lives, but I definitely see you contemplating as to whether you're spending too much time thinking about what you may look like in public or to other people. Next up, we have the dolphin spirit. So in the dolphin spirit, one thing that I definitely see is that a lot of things are accurate and are true that you don't need to choose. In the dolphin spirit, you are being propelled to this place where you have this deep spiritual understanding of the fact that many things can be true, because if just one theory or just one thing is accurate, that means everything else is rendered invalid. So in correlation to your love life, I see here that it can be okay, and it is true that you can love two people at once, for example, or that you can be talking to somebody that you deeply care about but still keep your eggs in some other baskets, right? Still make sure that you're open to other possibilities. Just because you like somebody or you see a lot of potential in a certain aspect of your love life doesn't mean that you have to become enslaved to that. It doesn't mean that you have to put all of your focus on just one person or one opportunity. You can like them and still have other opportunities going for you. And one thing that I would definitely recommend for you to do is, until there is commitment, allow yourself to explore, allow yourself to be free. I mean, the other person might be doing it too, after all. Next up, we have the electric eel spirit. So in the electric eel spirit, I see here very kind of fiery energy. I see energy here where you can bring any ideas that you have to life. So maybe you've had some fantasies or some things you've been thinking about doing, and if you're not 100% sure as to whether you're brave enough to do so, just wait till the 6th of September where Venus enters Leo. That is a highly, highly sensually charged time for you. And I want you to know that at the latest there, you will think to yourself, I have some romantic ideas that I can do with somebody or just with myself that I want to explore, that I want to bring to life, and I want to feel what it's like to try that and be more adventurous. So I'm kind of speaking a little bit in, is it called in riddles, just because I don't want this video to get censored. So, but I think you guys know exactly what I mean. Next up, we have the Nine of Wands. So in the Nine of Wands, I see here a little bit of a test of strength for you mentally. I see that when it comes to situationships and relationships, it can be a little bit difficult to walk away every time, okay? So when you're walking away time after time after time again, because the fact of the matter is a lot of people are in the mood to play. A lot of people are in the mood to not honor you for who you are. It can become exhausting. It can become tiring. It can feel like a test of strength. So the Nine of Wands is really an indication that you sometimes just need to take a break, hydrate, nourish yourself, stay away from people who make you feel exhausted. Next up, we have the Spirit of Wands. Now, the Spirit of Wands is an interesting occurrence in your reading. There is the option, the possibility for the Spirit of Wands to move into your life. This is a person that is adventurous. This is a person that is enthusiastic, somebody who is very young, most likely younger than you, or at least less mature than you, okay? So they biologically may be older, but when it comes to their mental state, they're not as far as you are. And I see here in the Spirit of Wands that there is an opportunity here for you to get physical, for you to move into a romantic plane with this person, as they are all about, you know, pleasure. They're all about getting into that headspace. Next up, we have the Waxing Gibbous 2. So in the Waxing Gibbous 2, I do see here that you are moving in and out of a space of a little bit of fear, okay? A little bit of wondering whether you're being too harsh on people. So because you do have people moving in and out of your life when it comes to love quite a bit in September, it can feel as though you aren't able to find that proper balance, or you're not able to find your soulmate. It may feel like, oh, is this just how it's going to be till the end of time? I keep my standards up, and that means people just move in and out of my life constantly because they just want somebody with low or lower standards. So there is a little element of fear there. But I see here in the waxing give us 6 that nevertheless you are still at it with dating, you're still at it with building yourself up, with motivating yourself. Just overall, there's a lot of energy that comes from your love life. There's a lot of energy that I feel transpiring through your reading and through the divine messages that you're receiving, group number 3. Next up, we have the waning crescent 5. In the waning crescent 5, I see that you find peace through spirituality and through expanding your knowledge. So when you get into the state of fear of, oh my God, forever alone, or I'm a potato and who could love a potato? I mean, there are like so many scenarios that we put ourselves into when we feel in despair about our love lives. I want you to know in the waning crescent 5 that what really brings you peace here is to just allow yourself to lean on spirituality and knowing that there are other people here who you can share this knowledge and this sacred space with. Now, you may not have the perfect partner in your life, or your relationship that you're currently in, your situationship may be a little bit unsettled, or it may be in a place where you're afraid that it's never going to amount to something substantial, something that you truly desire. Allow yourself to really take energy from spirituality and understanding that we're all on this journey. Some of us are a little further along. Some of us are in a place where we're still finding out what it even means to us, and that can have an effect on love and your love life, and also how far your partner, your situationship is able to move along, how much they're able to mature into the person that you need them to be. Then last but not least, we have the snow moon. So in the snow moon, I do see that here at the end of the day, at the end of September, in correspondence to the Spirit of Wands, this person who is coming into your life who has this fire sign energy spread all over their chart is somebody with pure intentions. Now, whether you want to be with them or not, whether you prefer to stay alone or move forward with somebody else, somebody who is coming prior to this Spirit of Wands person, that is completely up to you. But know that their intentions are pure. Know that they have no kind of intent to harm you or hurt you, and allow that to guide you and to maybe even explore a relationship or situationship with them, even if they're not somebody who you would typically go for, group number 3. Furthermore, on the 23rd of September, when the sun enters Libra, you may have a little bit of a change of heart. You may have this kind of feeling like you want to settle down, like you want to be a little more calm in your love life, and that does make the Spirit of Wands person look a whole lot more attractive and a whole lot more like somebody you want to spend more time with. So be open to that opportunity. Group number 3, we're at the end of your reading. I truly hope that you found it insightful, that you enjoyed it, and that it gave you a lot of info of what's coming for you in your love life during the month of September. So leave a little dolphin emoji down below if you made it all the way to the end of this reading. And overall, I am sending you so much love and light, and I'm excited to see you in my next video. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Angelite in correspondence to the Ace of Wands. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, in the Angelite, this is the gorgeous depiction of the gem that you chose. It's all about support being all around you. And in correspondence to the Ace of Wands, one thing that I definitely see here is that things are changing, moving quickly, and they're full of passion for you in September in correlation to love. I see in the Ace of Wands that there is this willpower as well as this fresh start in correspondence to your love life. So feeling as though you've just taken in a whole new breath of fresh air, and like your love life can be revived and given the oxygen that it needs in order for its fire to thrive. So whether that is in an existing relationship or situationship where you feel like the fire has kind of been lost or dimmed, or the passion isn't where you want it to be, or whether it's in a new relationship, you know, one that we're still still going to hear about within your reading. I definitely see here that just igniting to a place where passion is at the forefront is a big deal here. This could also, of course, be in correlation to the 6th of September. Now you may ask yourself, what is happening on the 6th of September? Let me explain to you, group number 4. The 6th of September is when Venus enters Leo. And when Venus enters Leo, we have a very intricate thing that is full of beauty, that is full of passion. It's kind of sensual and full of love, okay? So your sensual side is really coming out in September. Next up, we have the Shadow. The Shadow is a card that corresponds in the traditional tarot deck to the Devil. And I want you to know here that materialism is something that you're kind of battling with and something that you're kind of not sure of during the month of September. And materialism in correspondence to your love life. So on one side, maybe you grew up in a rather traditional household and family where, for instance, you know, your dad was making money and your mom stayed at home and was a housewife, and that's kind of like what you pictured you might have at a later point in your life, you either being the one going out earning the big bucks or you being the one staying at home taking care of children or just the household. And I see here in the Shadow that that really materialistic side of you, or that side of you that has been crafted, carefully crafted by tradition and society, is being challenged. I see here that your dependence on it, as well as how you see love through that lens, is something that you're working on and something that puts you in a kind of like a difficult situation, because maybe you've always wanted to be with somebody who is very successful, somebody who is financially in an abundant place, but then all of a sudden you're coming to notice that, hey, actually that doesn't matter very much to me, and I feel like materialism isn't that important after all. But then you get sucked in by the media again, who's telling you that in order to be happy, you have to, you know, have all of your designer bags on your jet flying to your private island. I mean, it is a vicious cycle that I see you confronting in the Shadow. That is one thing that this card depicts. Next up, we have the Dawn of Wands. So here we have the culprit for who is making you challenge those beliefs. So the Dawn of Wands is somebody who has this strong fire sign energy. So they may be of a fire sign, or just their chart is full of fire sign energy. The Dawn of Wands is somebody who is always so inspired, who is full of potential, and they can live with nothing, okay? So while they're the type of person who may have this awesome, super creative idea that could change the world and just move them from, for instance, sleeping on a couch to being a billionaire just casually, just like that. So they're that type of person that can do with a little, but also a lot. They're the type of person that's just happy, adventurous, and ready to go regardless of financial situations. So they really make you question what is important, and they make you question how much materialism in this moment really matters and how much it can really just come and go, right? Just like from one moment to the next, a great idea could propel you to being very wealthy. The same goes for a relationship. So they make you feel as though what you really want to start with as a great basis is just that support that we have here in the Angelite, that unwavering love, that unwavering understanding and respect, and then worry about materialism, when otherwise it was kind of more the other way around. You would first worry about materialism and then about the connection. And you may have not even noticed that you're doing it, but I definitely see you confronting that. However, group number 4, little side note, because I have to be 100% honest with you, do not, and I repeat, do not completely give everything up to potential. So don't just base your love, okay, on somebody's potential. Somebody can have eons of potential, but if they're not like the Dawn of Wands actually taking action, then you might just be with a bum, okay? I'm just 100% honest with you. I just don't want you guys to end up taking advice that I didn't mean that way. So if you just fall in love with potential, you might be with a bum for the rest of your life. And with a bum, I mean somebody who is not going to see it through, somebody who maybe is simply too lazy to figure out what potential life has for them. So make sure that this person is in active pursuit. So they may not be super well wealthy now, but if you see them actively pursuing their dreams, actively, searching for opportunities in business, spiritually, they'll end up being either materially very wealthy or spiritually very wealthy, and somebody who you can truly build with. Next up, we have the Six of Swords. So in the Six of Swords, I see here that an old situation is able to come to a place of resolution, not revolution, resolution. I can see here that it's most likely happening around the 17th of September, which is when we have the new moon in Virgo during the month of September. So make sure that you write that down. That is when the new moon is able to give you the sense of resolution, the sense of, okay, I can move on, I'm done with it. Okay, we have a card that clearly wants to speak that popped right out of the pile, and it is the Empress. The Empress is all about that nourishing energy, as well as also that capability to conceive, this very fruitful time, this time where possibly there may be a pregnancy, or just the ability of being able to have that pregnancy be a part of your life. Now, of course, take necessary precautions if that is something that you do not want, group number 4, but I also do see here in the Empress that embracing the side of you that is feminine, that is receptive, that is able to be open-minded and open-hearted is one thing that your love life could truly benefit from, because while support is provided for you when it comes to emotional support, when it comes to love, at the same time, if you're not receptive to it, how are you going to make use of any of the support that you have around you? Next up, we have the Sodalite. The Sodalite is all about being honest, speaking your truth, and being upfront and direct. But with all of this fire sign energy that we have, the Ace of Wands, the Dawn of Wands, both fire elements, okay? Then we have the Six of Swords, which is again a phallic symbol. And why I say again is because the wands already correspond to masculine energy, to phallic symbols. Then we have the Six of Swords, where you have again this masculine energy, these phallic symbols. As you can see, this is a phallic symbol, right? Like a spear, a sword, a wand, something like that. I want you to know here that you most likely don't really have a problem with that. You're probably even a little bit too honest during the month of September, group number 4. You're a little bit too direct, and you may hurt somebody's feelings. So speak your truth, but be cautious as to how you speak your truth. And just because you're going through a state of being confident to say what you think doesn't mean that you should do too much, okay? Because if you were in a place where you were being kind of like let off easy, or hope that you would be let off easy, and somebody comes and is just kind of like saying to you, look, truthfully, honestly, I'm not really that into you, that would really hurt. So be very cautious when it comes to other people's feelings and emotions, and respect those, because we don't want to attract that bad karma now, do we? Next up, we have the fluorite, and from my understanding, this actually looks like a rainbow fluorite, because we have fluorites in my online crystal store. It's linked down below, and this would be a rainbow fluorite, but we just have the description of the fluorite here, which is also fine. The fluorite is all about finding that inner peace. Oh, let's have this focus. There we go. Finding that inner peace, coming to a place where you're okay with your actions. And in correspondence to us talking about the Sodalite and how you speak your truth, so the problem not being with you speaking your truth, that's great, group number 4. I love that. Like, you go. Problem lies in how you speak your truth, and finding peace with communicating in a way that isn't hurtful, especially with love, okay? I see that there can be these situations that tempt you to be very blunt and honest when you know that somebody has maybe played with you, or if you know that somebody else's intentions may have not been pure. So you may want to tell them to just F off, to just get the hell out of your life, however you want to say it or call it. But it's important for you here in the fluorite to not give them so much power over you that you end up kind of reacting or saying things that are out of character that you will regret. So make sure in the fluorite that you find that inner peace and just that inner maturity to not allow a situation to trigger really nasty words or responses from you. Next up, we have the grasshopper spirit. The grasshopper spirit is all about taking a leap of faith. So in correspondence to your love life, I see here that the Dawn of Wands and the Shadow, you know, you kind of contemplating, is material wealth and materialism really that important to me? Is that even me? Does that even still resonate with me? Or is that an old version of who I once was? I do see here in the Grasshopper Spirit that that is leading you to take a leap of faith. So to give somebody a chance who you maybe otherwise would not give a chance, to fantasize about what it would be to be with them, maybe on a deserted island with just them and 3 tools or something like that, and to just overall move away from connecting materialism and just material wealth and abundance to love. It just doesn't have a space or a place in your love life as it did in the past. Then we have the Chameleon Spirit. In the Chameleon Spirit, one thing that I do see here is you kind of playing along a little bit. So the chameleon is an animal that is able to blend in with its environment, and that is one thing that I see you kind of needing to do at some point during September, which is not necessarily what you want to do, but you know you have to do it in order to keep the balance. I see this happening around the 23rd of September. That is when the sun enters Libra. I want you to know here in correspondence to the chameleon spirit and just acting as if that in a social situation where somebody is trying to get closer to you, that could be while you're going out, you know, somebody chatting you up and you just really don't like their approach, you really don't like their pickup line, or however they're trying to get closer to you, you feel uncomfortable and you're just kind of like haha hee hee playing along, but what you're actually doing is trying to distance yourself. You're acting as if you like it or think it's funny, but when it actually comes to, say, swapping numbers or swapping names on Instagram, whatever it is, staying in contact, that's when you're kind of like speaking your truth and you're like, actually no. So I definitely see you being desirable to the point where somebody is chatting you up, but somebody who you don't want chatting you up. And you have to just play along to be nice for a little bit. So make sure that they don't let you get to that point where you snap and where you think to yourself, oh, I shouldn't have been so mean, or I shouldn't have just let them off that way. I should have still been peaceful and classy about it. So make sure that you let people off easily, and it's okay to not share your personal information with somebody who you don't want to share that information with. Just make sure that you do it in a very like classy, down to earth, and diplomatic way. Next up, we have the first quarter moon. So in the first quarter moon, I definitely see you liking this Dawn of Wands person a lot. So this Dawn of Wands person is most likely around your age, maybe a little bit older. They're the type of person that kind of like sticks out a little bit physically, and you're looking at them from afar, right? Just like you have here with this telescope. So you're almost even, okay, this needs to focus so I can show you. Yeah, group number 4, like you're almost even being a little bit creepy. Look at you. But I do see here in the first quarter moon that this just means that you're keeping an, they've piqued your interest. You're keeping an eye out for what they're doing. You're keeping an eye out for, maybe this materialistic life isn't for me, and you're just looking at other people's very minimalistic, very head-on life. You're looking at it in a very intrigued way. So you may be looking more into minimalism and just overall being in a relationship that isn't so conservative or isn't so what society makes us want to want. Like you're looking into this Dawn of Wands person who is very attractive. You can tell that they like you. You can tell that they're flirtatious with you, but you're still kind of looking at them from a distance like, okay, I would kind of like to risk it, but I don't want to get burned. But at the end of the day, group number 4 in the Grasshopper Spirit, that leap of faith is going to happen sooner rather than later. So just know that you acting a little bit coy, keeping a little bit of that distance that I see here in the first quarter moon is most likely what you're doing more at the beginning of September. Next up, we have the waning gibbous 4. So the waning gibbous 4 is all about beauty, okay? It's all about just coming to a place where you're aligning your understanding of beauty with yourself. So you making beauty all inclusive to who you are. So not feeling as though, okay, this is the beauty standard and I either fit it or not. Making yourself the standard of beauty, saying that I am beautiful, and anything that doesn't resonate with that doesn't mean that I'm not cute. So if, for instance, you don't have a a tiny nose or a tiny waist and that's what's cool right now, or that's what's beautiful right now. You not second guessing your beauty based on society's like one standard, one image of what beauty is, which is not even achievable. I mean, let's be real. Tan skin, wavy or semi-curly hair or straight hair with huge lips, a tiny nose, a tiny waist, but a big butt and big boobs. Like, who has that naturally? Let me know, because it's not a thing. It's not a natural thing. And it's important for us to discern between society's construct and what we see walking down the streets every day in real life on a daily basis. Next up, we have the Five of Rings. So in the Five of Rings, I really see that recovery of your natural beauty and your understanding of beauty. Your recovery of this deception or this deceptive space that this deceiving space that you've lived in for a long time, where the media and society, okay, we have another card that popped up, where the media and society has been able to dictate whether you think you're beautiful or not based on the current beauty standards that they have created, not allowing that to allow you to feel bad about yourself anymore, which is really great for your love life. It gives you the confidence to move into a different space. Next up, we have the Star as well as the Ten of Wands. So because I've already been talking for so long, group number 4, I'm going to keep it quick. If you made it to this point of the reading, leave a little star emoji down below. In the Star, I definitely see renewal. I see harmony coming towards your love life. I see that you're moving into a place where you really have hope for a complete revelation, for a complete new love life, a complete fresh start in love. In correspondence to the Ten of Wands, I see that you do see challenges coming and so on, but you understand that this is just so much more fun, moving away from questioning whether you're beautiful or not, moving away from seeing things from a materialistic standpoint of view, and instead connecting with people who are creative, who are passionate, who you can maybe just have sensual encounters with and nothing more, but still feel fulfilled and still feel like you connected in a meaningful way, not judging yourself, and instead just enjoying people and the depth of who they are in correspondence to love, and allowing yourself to share that with others as well. So group number 4, I hope that you found your reading insightful. I hope you found it motivational, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.